Hi, in this clip I'll show you how to install the guest OS, and for this example I'll show how to install Windows 10. Now oVirt 4.3 supports the new UEFI with the Q35 chipset, and we'll use it, but it's still experimental. You can basically use the old way, and I'll show you what to not select or select in order to work the old way or the new way. So let's go to compute virtual machines and let's create a new one. And what's the name? I can call it Windows 10. You cannot use spaces. I'll call it Windows 10 VM. We'll select operating system Windows 10 64-bit, and we need an network interface for this machine, so we'll hop on the oVirt MGMT. If you created your own network through oVirt, select it. And then we'll need to create a disk. We'll say it's a 60 gigabyte disk. And where do you want to store it? I'll use the NAS3, and I'll use thin provisioning. You can select pre-allocated, which will create the full disk right now. That should speed things up a bit, but on a day-to-day use on virtual machines, it's not that matters. So I'll leave thin provisioning. And basically that's it. 16 gigabyte, as you can see it. We added it. We can click here on console. We have only one monitor. Click show advanced. Let's click the system, and I'll use 4 gigabyte. Now I know it will expand here to 16 gigabyte, but this one is for hot plug memory, and I'm not sure if Windows 10 supports it. Physical memory guaranteed 4 gigabyte. Now we can click here. Let's say I want 2 cores. We can click the advanced parameters here, and here we this is a very important part. Here is the parameter to select BIOS type. You can only select it once. Once you created the machine, that's it. You cannot change it. So here you can click the default, or you can click if you want to use the UEFI or secure boot, etc. You can click it, and then you'll need to select the emulated machine to Q35, or else it will scream about PCI root versus PCIe root. So if you're going this way, click the Q35 and then select the Q35. Another thing that we'll need to do is select the time, because basically the agent of the virtual machines will try to synchronize with oVirt, and they'll need to have the same time zone. So here, in my case, I'm from Israel, and I've selected it. Anything else? High availability. Let's see something here. I'm not sure it's here. No. Let's see in resources. Yeah, virtual IO is SCSI enabled, but we're not going to use it. You can enable or disable it. It doesn't matter really. What else? I'm not sure if it's here. Yeah. Basically, you leave it as QXL, and then it will switch to Spice after we'll install the guest tools, etc. Spice plus VNC. You'll need Spice in order to show the first screen to install Windows, etc. USB support if you want to enable or disable, because basically you can enable it later if you want. Doesn't really matter. Once we have it, we have the things, we can click OK. Now, before we click run here, we'll need to basically tell it where is the ISO for the operating system. So we click this icon and we're clicking run once. Here we're selecting the boot option, clicking attach CD, and this is the ISO I uploaded. As I've shown previously, you just go to your storage domain, go to disks, click upload, and upload your ISO. I can show menu if needed. This menu will only work for the first time. Everything else as we configured previously. So that's what we need. I'll click OK. It's starting to boot. Once we see it is green, we can click the console. And you might need to download remote viewer. I'll give a link. This is what we'll see. We'll click enter and press space to basically boot the Windows 10 ISO. Once we have it, we can click on next. Now, one thing, if you're using Fedora, at least 29, and you're using Wayland, you might see your cursor is getting out. I hope they'll fix it. I'm using the Xorg, so I don't see this issue. Click install. Setup is starting. Okay, I don't have a product key. Sorry. And I'll select Windows 10 Pro. This is the official image that I downloaded from Microsoft yesterday. Yes, I accept the license, take a kidney. And here we click install. As you can see, we don't have any disk. And the reason is Windows doesn't know about oVirt.io disk subsystem. We can click change CD here, and I hope they'll fix this issue soon, but as a way to bypass it, you just simply go here, click change CD, and we'll take the oVirt tool setup that I've shown in previous video, where to download it and just upload it. Now we've changed it, let's go back to the remote viewer. Let's click on load driver. Let's click on browse. Here we have it. Now we will go to oVirt.io, and at the bottom we'll see VIO store. Here we'll take Windows 10, double click AMD 64, that's a 64-bit. And I think that's the driver. It should be, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, as always, when you don't check things, problems can creep. The issue that we didn't see the disk here is simple. Let's click Shift F12, let's edit this machine. And if we'll go to the disk, you can see when we created the disk, we didn't select anything. So by default, it goes to oVirt.io SCSI. And when I tried in the Windows to go to a load driver, it doesn't know about the oVirt.io interface. But basically, there are two interfaces, oVirt.io SCSI and oVirt.io. oVirt.io is the fully native one, and I didn't select it. Fool me. So basically, if you've selected the oVirt.io SCSI, you go to the drivers, VirtIO VIO SCSI, Windows 10, M64, okay, and you'll see it here. You don't need to click here about hide or anything else. So once we have it, we can click next, and it will show the disk. It's just reinstalling the drivers right now. Okay, we have the new disk. We can click here for new. But before we click apply, we need to go back to the Windows CD. So Shift F12 to go out of this window. And then let's click cancel here. Click in those 3 points, change CD back to the Windows 10 ISO. Let's go back here. Click apply. Okay, it will create additional partitions, and then we can click next. Now it basically copies the files and install just as usual, and it will reboot as Windows does when it's in the process, and you'll be asked question by Microsoft. You might see Cortana, I don't know why, and you'll need to log in. You probably won't have network because by default we created the oVirt network. We basically by default that's the option. So once it's finished installing and you'll see your Windows, we'll install all the drivers in just a single executable to run, and it will do everything for us. So it's just a standard Windows installation. I'll skip most of it. Okay, Windows installation is finished. Now we can go back here to the oVirt, click change CD, and let's go back and select this oVirt tools. I'll take this remote. We'll ignore, yeah, you don't have drivers, that's true. We don't need it, yes. And let's go to this PC, and we'll go to oVirt, and we'll run this guest tool. I agree. And this will basically install everything, the agent that you need to connect to oVirt, display, mouse, everything else. So as you can see in this remote viewer right now, I can go in and out without pressing Shift F12. Do I want to allow? No. And done. Now the resolution is dynamic, which means if I resize it, it resizes the resolution automatically, and basically you have everything right now. The only thing that I'm not sure, it set times automatically, but I'm not sure that it works. There are instructions how to change, since it shows the correct time zone. You can see 4:37 and 4:37, but the time zone is wrong. And as you can see here, let's click here. Actual time zone in the guest different from the configuration. So you'll see this exclamation mark until you'll fix it. and there are a few ways to fix it, and since this is a pro, it expects that you can fix it through Active Directory, whatever. I'm not a Windows system guy. Anyway, that's the installation. You can use it. One thing though, let's click remote desktop. No, not this part. Remote. Yeah. Remote desktop setting. Enable remote desktop. Confirm. In a Windows VM, and it doesn't matter which virtualization, you should disable the sleep, or else you might have few issues. So I have remote desktop here, and I think the FQDN here. It doesn't. It does the IP address. So if I'll try to connect right now to the console through RDP, yeah. I don't have it right now. Basically, if you're using, let's say, native client, okay, and click console. Yeah, let's use Ramina. It will go by the name of the host name. So if you're if it doesn't register this name, the FQDN, this desktop HVG, whatever, to your DNS, and you're using Active Directory and DNS services, if it doesn't register as this name, it won't work. So you'll need basically to use MSTSC or other tools in Windows to connect to it. Anyway, Windows installation is done. It works well. And that's it. Thanks for watching. If you have any question or comment, leave them below. Like, share, subscribe, click the bell to receive notifications of newer videos, of new future clips, and hope to see you soon. Thanks and good day.